Hello, my Sagittarians. Welcome back to the channel today. We are doing your weekly readings for February 26th through March 10th. Yes, we are moving into March, which puts us one step closer to spring. And I don't know about you guys, but I am so ready for it. I'm so ready for some warmer days. Although, I'm also not excited about experiencing some pollen, seasonal allergy gang. Yes. Anyway, we are getting ready to move into spring. We're getting ready to move into actually the start here soon of eclipse season within the next month or two. So we're going to start seeing some big movement. We're going to also be coming to the end in about a month or so from our time of being retrograde free. So, there's a lot going on, a lot of things, a lot of movement, a lot of change. Sagittarius, looking at your cards right now, I will say you have a lot of reversals for people, as well as just in general. There's a lot of people cards here. And what I mean by that is cards that show people as opposed to objects. These cards usually signify your personal energy or the energy of specific people around you. And with these cards being in reverse, it could mean that you're feeling as though you are off your game in some way. You may be doubting your abilities, you may be doubting your heart or the things that have been going on for you recently, and trying to figure out where exactly you stand and how you are presenting yourself to the world. So let's go ahead and get started on week 1 here, Sagittarius. On February 26th, you start off with your first card here, which is Temperance in reverse. Temperance is about finding balance. It's about making sure that we are allocating our resources properly, that we're not putting too much into one place or putting our eggs into one basket, as you could say. It carries a sense of discernment with it because you have to be able to understand and discern where exactly you should be putting your resources at this time. And it also has a sense of discipline, that you are making sure that you are taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Now, Temperance in reverse, it could say that things have been very unbalanced for a long time. You may have been being expected to put in a lot in your workplace, and it's been neglecting your home life as a result of it, or even neglecting your personal health and wellness. So, Temperance in reverse is reminding us to evaluate where we are putting our energy and to make sure that we are being disciplined about the things that we're doing and that we're not overindulging ourselves in places or with substances outside of what we need to be doing, outside of where we're supposed to take care of ourselves. Our next card here, Sagittarius, is the Six of Cups in reverse. Now, this has a little bit of idealizing with it. So, it very well could be, Sagittarius, that you've been idealizing this misbalance in some way. Maybe you've been a little bit on the lazy side and you've been allowing yourself a lot of time to not do something or to not start the work for a project. And you're idealizing it in a way by choosing to look at it as though you are allowing yourself time to rest, when in reality you are procrastinating where you need to start. And that's just kind of a little bit of an example. There are some of you who are going to hear me say that, and that's going to be exactly what you've been doing. And you're going to be like, Ashley, what the heck? Don't call me out like this. For others of you, if this is not within your personal energy in that way that I have explained, this very well could be a misbalance within a relationship that you've been dealing with. So if this Temperance card in reverse is instead referring to a person or an individual within your life, maybe somebody who's asking you to put in more into your friendship or relationship than what they are willing to give. The Six of Cups in reverse says that you could be looking at this person and ignoring their red flags because you have a long history with them. The Six of Cups has this aspect of the past with it, going back into our childhood. And so if you have a childhood friend that maybe for a while has been mistreating you, you could be idealizing this person based on your past experiences. So it's time to come into the reality, come into the here and now about this person. Stop focusing on all the positive that was in the past because it may not necessarily reflect what is going on in your current, in the present day. Your next card here, Sagittarius, for Wednesday is the Wheel of Fortune. This carries a sense of karma with it, of things, what goes around comes around. And that is the wheel here. The wheel is constantly turning. Things are currently working in different ways to bring us towards our future, our destinies. And the Wheel of Fortune says that Sagittarius, within this, you feel as though you are in a lucky place at this time. You feel as though things are going your way. Even if this relationship has been a bit of a struggle, even if this friendship or this difficult energy that you've been dealing with, it's still something that you don't feel as though it's knocked you away from your ability to experience luck for yourself and abundance. It's, the turning of the tides. It's things changing, things coming and going, allowing energy to flow and be different and put it in different places for yourself. So Sagittarius, things are moving. Even if the energy with this relationship has been a little bit tumultuous, the Wheel of Fortune says that things are going to start changing here very soon. Now, your next 4 cards, the rest of your cards for week 1 here, Sagittarius, are all in reverse. And so I feel as though what's happened is that this Wheel of Fortune is a signal of a change or karma with this relationship or this person. And it has completely blindsided you. And well, initially, this Wheel of Fortune card carries this weird energy with it where even though your other cards are in reverse, a part of you maybe understands that things are working towards a better opportunity or a better future for you, even if you're currently experiencing strife or challenging personal beliefs at this time. You have, for your next card here, you have Thursday, the Moon in reverse. So again, this relationship or this situation where you've been putting in this imbalance of energy, the Moon card signals kind of a loss. Not loss, but lost. A person who has maybe found themselves adrift in some way, someone who has lost their direction, and they're kind of just fumbling around in the dark, trying to figure out where they're going and what's going on. The Moon in reverse also can sometimes have this meaning of ignoring your intuition, ignoring the way that you're supposed to be going, and allowing yourself to be in this dark instead of choosing to see the light. It's kind of like a stubborn mindset of thinking about things only working this one way. Your next card here, Scorpio, for Friday is the Queen of Swords in reverse. And this also carries a little bit of directionless with it. Kind of similar to the Moon. This is more with your logical mind. The Moon is about following your heart and following your intuition, but the Queen of Swords is following your logic, and you find that at this time, you don't even know what that is. You don't even know what the next steps should be. You find that your mind is very clouded, and things just seem all sorts of wrong. It feels as though maybe your entire worldview is changing, and you find that, you wake up one day and it's almost as if things aren't working the way that they used to be. You find that, what was working before is something that you have absolutely no idea how to do now. So, Queen of Swords in reverse, being thrown off your game. And that Wheel of Fortune card is very sneaky here because when you look at it, it almost feels like it's this positive card of hey, I'm gonna win the lottery or something, right? But in reality, what it's kind of happening here is it's putting you into a new energy. And with this energy, you find that you're somewhere new, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's causing a lot of reconsideration. It's causing a lot of problems. Kind of like you find yourself in an upside down world, a parallel reality, where you wake up one day and you feel like you're not in your regular body. You feel like you are in somebody else's life, and you're like, what the heck is this? It brings in this sneaky energy of changing things for you, which then changes everything about how you've been working, how you've been dealing with yourself. And so you're kind of like, what? I thought this was supposed to be good. I thought this was supposed to be a good change, and instead it's just got you challenging and rethinking everything that you thought you knew. Saturday here, you move on to the Princess of Cups in reverse, Sagittarius. And so this change, when we're feeling directionless and we're feeling disconnected from, ourself, from our purpose, from our emotions, the Princess of Cups is saying that we can find ourselves in a place of emotional vulnerability where maybe we are feeling very touchy at this time. And I don't mean as in like touchy-feely, like wanting a lot of hugs from people. I mean like emotionally sensitive, where you find that you maybe have a tendency to lash out. You're feeling very raw. You know, since you're trying to figure out, your whole brain feels like goo, and so trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing just has you like an emotional wreck about it. And trying to figure out, you know, your thoughts and feelings towards this person or towards this this entity, this operation that you've been working on, you know, the Princess of Cups always has this like tiny feeling of like a temper tantrum. I don't mean that you're throwing a temper tantrum, Sagittarius. I just mean like maybe internally you're kind of having a little bit of a pity party, you know, that nothing's working, I'm not doing anything right. And so the Princess of Cups is just a little bit of that emotional rawness, that a little bit of a temper tantrum energy. Like I said, I'm not saying you're going to go out there and throw a fit. I'm just saying that you're going to be in a place where maybe emotionally you're a little bit touchy. You're upset that things aren't going your way. And so you kind of like find yourself marinating in this energy for a minute. And finally on Sunday for week 1 here, Sagittarius, you end with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And this is more of that contemplation. This is you contemplating the energy and the resources that you have put in towards building this thing. So for example, you know, we've been saying work. I feel like a lot of this is your balance between your work life and your personal health. And so, you know, the 7 of Pentacles is saying, I've been putting in so much work. I've been pouring myself out with this watering can here. I've been pouring out my resources, my love, my attention, my energy into building and growing this 7 of Pentacles. And what do I have to show for it? You know, this is really you contemplating, was it worth it? How much did I put into this? And am I actually seeing a return on this? Am I working so hard to break my back over something when I'm just making somebody else richer? Am I putting in towards a relationship with another person who maybe doesn't value me? I'm giving this thing everything that I have, and what do I have to show for it? So, you know, this is, again, it's a very challenging energy of, you know, feeling like you moved into this new space and you're like, what the heck? Nothing is where it's supposed to be. I'm trying to fix it. I don't know where to go. And things that I'm putting in just don't seem to be giving me the return that I expect from it. So week 2 here, Sagittarius, you start off on Monday with the 4 of Swords in reverse. And this is saying, Sagittarius, you need to take a break. You need to take a step back. And something here is possibly keeping you from taking a break. Like maybe you feel as though you can't stop at this time, and you're afraid that if you take a break or take some time off from dealing with this, that, you know, you feel as though you just can't. You know, whatever excuse it is that, you know, I can't do this, that, or the other, it's really keeping yourself from a place of rest. You know, whether or not you feel as though you can take a rest or take a break from this thing or this person. The 4 of Swords can also sometimes be us ignoring it, simply because if we take the time to stop and rest, we're going to end up being overwhelmed by the surge of feelings that we have to deal with. Sometimes people can keep themselves in a place of like toxic productivity to avoid feeling their feelings, and so that can sometimes be what this 4 of Swords is. If it's not you actually being unable to take a break because maybe you don't have any vacation days for work or something, the 4 of Swords in reverse on the other side of that is ignoring taking a break because it's going to, you know, then you're going to have to deal with the things that you've been putting off dealing with. Challenge that energy for you here, Sagittarius. Challenge that feeling so that you can actually rest, because when we get the signal that, hey, we need to take a break, we need to relax a little bit and give ourselves time to heal and recuperate, if we don't listen to that, then things are just going to get worse. They say, like, for car maintenance, right? They say if you don't make time to maintain your vehicle, that your vehicle will make time for you. And what that means is, like, if you ignore an oil change on your car for too long, eventually your car is going to go kaput and you're going to have a way bigger problem and a lot more expensive problem to deal with than if you had just taken the time consistently to, you know, take care of these little things that needed taken care of. Sagittarius, don't ignore your body's signal or even your soul, your heart's signal to rest. Rest is all part of the process, and Taking time to rest doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that you're a human being and not a machine of the, toxic productivity that our world likes to glorify so much. Sagittarius, on Tuesday here, you move to the Princess of Swords. And I feel like, you had that Queen of Swords in reverse for your week 1 here, but the Princess of Swords is like the planning process. It's allowing yourself to dream and start to think of some ways where you can maybe exert your will and start to move in the direction that you want to go. The Princess of Swords is the person who sees where they want to go, and they're in the planning phase of figuring out what their next steps are logically. The Queen of Swords in her upright energy is the person who knows how to apply what the lesson they learned from the Princess of Swords is. I feel like this isn't necessarily a step back. What it is it's allowing yourself to start with like a smaller bite. Instead of trying to figure out your very next step right away and try to figure out exactly what you're supposed to be doing right now, the Princess of Swords is kind of you giving yourself a little bit of space to step back and allow yourself to plan a little bit more before jumping into the execution of your thinking. And now that brings us into your next card here with the Two of Wands in reverse for Wednesday. This is taking a step back from making a decision. The Two of Wands is usually 2 options or 2 paths being presented to us. It's about needing to make a choice about which path you're going to take moving forward. Are you going to take the path that you are currently on and keep going in your current trajectory? Or are you going to pivot and go ahead and move towards a new future or a new thing for yourself? And so the Two of Wands in reverse is you taking a break, taking a step back from actually making that choice. It could be that you are being presented with these choices currently, but that you're not in a place where you're ready to actually take a step. But you're starting to become aware of what your next step could potentially be within this relationship. And when I say relationship, it can always be a relationship with a partner, a romantic partner, but this is, relationships, we have all sorts of different kinds. So this could very well be a relationship within your work life with, a coworker or a boss. This could be a relationship with a family member, a friend, a sibling, whatever the case may be. We have all sorts of different relationships, and where you're finding the strife could, for some of you it's going to be from a toxic boss, and for some of you it's going to be from a toxic mother or aunt or, father, whatever the case may be. There's different pieces where this can apply within our lives. Anyway, let's move on. Thursday here in week 2, Sagittarius, you have the High Priestess in reverse. So not only are we not ready to take a step, but the High Priestess in reverse is almost like we're waiting to hear what the right moment is going to be. And we're waiting to hear maybe the confirmation from our intuition that this is what we're supposed to be doing. And the High Priestess in reverse is kind of like your intuition has been completely silent. Like you've been trying to find answers, and you've been trying to search for what this next direction or what this, what you need to resolve, what needs to happen with this person. And the High Priestess in reverse is like, you're just not finding the answers where you expect them to. You're not finding the answers maybe that you want. For some of you, this could be that your intuition is presenting you with an answer and you don't like it. And so you're, instead of choosing to listen to what's being presented to you, you're trying to figure out a path outside of this. But for most of you, I feel as though this is like you've been looking for answers and you just aren't finding anything. You feel like your intuition or your guides are being really silent at this time and not giving you any clear direction or clear messages on how to handle what is going on with this person. Friday here, Sagittarius, we move on to your next card, which is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This also brings a similar sense of balance to like we see in the Temperance card here. But the Six of Pentacles is, that balance between where you're putting in your energy and where you're getting a return. It's making sure your investments, your give and your takes are balanced and within harmony. And the Six of Pentacles, you very well could be putting in a lot of money towards this person, towards this relationship. You very well could be noticing an imbalance in the amount of things that you're paying for versus them. And you're starting to realize that, hey, you've been putting in a lot of your resources. And I say money because pentacles, are associated with money. But our resources count for more than just money. It counts for our emotional labor. It counts for our time, because time is one of our most valuable resources too. So you could find that there's an imbalance in this relationship with the resources being brought to the table. You could find, Sagittarius, that this person that you are dealing with is not giving you back what you are putting in. And so you find yourself kind of in a place of like a deficit, where you feel like you're missing something and you want this person to show up for you the way that you have been showing up and putting in for them too. Saturday here, Sagittarius, on week 2, you move to the Knight of Cups in reverse. With this, Sagittarius, I'm going to caution you that there is no perfect answer. There is no perfect person that is going to magically come through like a knight in shining armor, right? The Knight of Cups is kind of a card of like a person coming in with more promises than they can keep. So if this is a relationship that you've been dealing with a relationship that just isn't working for you, this could be your partner attempting to keep you happy or placate you temporarily by promising you that they'll change, right? So, you know, this person that you're dealing with could be trying to present themselves as a changed person. If this is your current partner, you know, it could be that they're trying to make it look as though they have been making changes or been improving themselves in some way. But I feel like, Sagittarius, you see the reality of this. You're not expecting this person to maintain this change that they are projecting, because, you know, maybe they've done this before. Maybe you've had this conversation with them multiple times about putting in more effort towards your relationship. And they'll pretend for a week or two it'll be really great, and then they'll go back to the way that they were doing things before. And so, Sagittarius, just be cautious that this person is, you know, possibly going to try to make more promises than they can keep. You're not stupid. You're not a fool. You know exactly what they're doing. You know exactly what they're trying to do by making these promises. So don't allow yourself to be caught up in this. I especially feel that this is very much like a partner. With that, it's kind of almost this feeling of romanticizing. So what I mean by that is that if this is not a partner, if this is a work relationship that you've been dealing with, or maybe a bad workplace, there very well could be another job offer coming in for you that seems too good to be true. It seems like something better than what it really is on the outside. So just be cautious and make sure that you're using discernment. This is not something that's going to be resolved for you immediately right away. And don't be caught up in trying to find the magic fix for it. So, Sagittarius, don't allow yourself to be fooled into accepting something, thinking that it's going to be the, you know, magic answer for your problems. And finally, Sagittarius, we end your reading with your final card here on Sunday, March 10th, with the Hanged Woman. This card tells me that right now, with things going the way that they are, you are definitely wanting to make changes. You're definitely wanting to see new perspectives, new prospects for yourself. However, at this time, you are being asked to kind of hang out for a minute. Don't make any decisions. Don't rush into something without doing your due diligence. The Hanged Woman is this in-between space. It's actually meant to represent like the last breath of life before we enter into death. It's literally that final moment of contemplation before we experience, you know, a new reality for ourselves. So the Hanged Woman, it's that breath of space between two places. And Sagittarius, you find yourself in between two places. You find yourself in a new place, or maybe even wanting to do new things. And you're being asked to just take a breath, take a break, sit in this energy, sit where you are. Don't make any movement towards one or the other. You really want to make a choice at this time, and you're thinking about your options available, but the Hanged Woman is saying, hang on, don't make a choice just yet, because, you know, you might end up making more work for yourself in the long run if you rush into something without doing your due diligence first. So anyway, Sagittarius, that is going to be your reading for February 26th through March 10th. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel today by watching this video. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week.